means they are on the way, right? They're not just talking about it, they're about that business, they're getting it done. So let's give Mr. Anthony Temple a round of applause for Performance Club qualifying the month of December. We know what this gentleman is going to accomplish in 2024. It's going to be incredible. Congratulations, Mr. Temple. Give him shout outs and heart emojis and all other fun stuff y'all be doing in the chat room. I want to give Coach Nan Moore a shout out for Performance Club qualifying. I want to give myself a pat on the back. Yes, I Performance Club qualified. I also want to give one of our newest partners, Mr. Chapman, Mr. Amari Chapman for Performance Club qualifying and getting it in. Look, he hasn't been in the business longer than 2 minutes yet, and he's already getting off to a phenomenal start, right? Making those financial independence deposits. I want to give Miss Renata Bradley. I think I did see her kind of sneak in here a moment ago. Want to give her a shout out. Miss Highly Favored, who's not on the camera. It's all good. A shout out for Performance Club qualifying. Then Miss Tina Williams, Performance Club qualifying. I'm looking forward to next month and sharing a list that is like 3 times longer in this next month, because I know we are going to crush it in the month of January. So congratulations to those individuals for not just talking about it, but being about it. All right, another announcement that I want to make. We talked about this a little bit last month, but I am going to make sure that this document is made available to everyone organizational-wide. The leadership, we've been talking about this. We've been chirping about some of the new events that are taking place. We are going to be introducing a brand new a briefing that's going to be formatted a lot different than what it was in the past. I'm getting ready to share this right now. Yes, I got it. Okay. All right, there we go. So as you all know, we had a briefing that was transpiring Mondays at Space Lab Detroit, downtown Detroit, at 5:45 p.m. And basically what was going on is we were inviting people, we would shake hands and people would have, some crackers and cheese and victuals and fruit, sometimes a little bit of wine. But it was basically people just sitting down and hearing a presentation and going home. And we're like, no, we're going to do things a little bit different here in 2024. So this is not the name of the event. Look, for the creatives listening, please help out. Feel free to go into Slack and suggest a couple names, but we're going to make sure this is truly a networking event moving forward. So instead of individuals showing up and just hearing a presentation and going home, we're going to give business owners and entrepreneurs a chance in the marketplace to introduce themselves, talk about their business a little bit. We know as entrepreneurs, our favorite topic is what? Our businesses, our side hustles, right? So moving forward, when individuals arrive, they can look forward to being able to shake hands and really network and let other people know what it is they're doing in the marketplace. And so that collective work and responsibility, that cooperative economics, are going to be about that life. We're going to have subject matter experts moving forward at our events. So whether it be taxes, how to market more effectively, whether it be how to structure your business properly, whether it's understanding intellectual property rights and how to scale and grow and how to onboard employees properly, whether it be internationally, nationally, or locally. We're going to have subject matters who are going to be coming in every single week and basically educating business owners about how they can level up, right? The mission of our company at the end of the day is to help over 100,000 business owners over the next 10 years get on the right side of the fence, right? Get out of that check to check, take control of the kitchen table, and become the opportunity providers in the community. And that's what we do here as PPLSI Associates. But you know what? Not everything's for everybody. Everybody's not for everything. That's okay. We want everybody to have the membership, and we want people to utilize the membership to be able to empower their families and their community. And look, some of this needs to be edited. The event's going to end about 30 minutes sooner than what you see here, but just know this is going to be the basic format. We're going to have a public service announcement. What is that? The sponsors, us, right? We're going to take a couple moments and share how our services have been helping business owners level up. We're going to have testimonies from our members and from our colleagues so we can show receipts. And then we are going to spotlight a business owner where we're going to give them a chance to go in for about 10 minutes or so, talk more in detail about their business. We're going to do a round robin where we provide feedback and insight to help them become more effective at building their businesses. So this is something that I'm really, really excited and on 10 about. The Monday briefings that are scheduled for the next 2 weeks are going to be virtual. We're not going to leave people in the lurch. We're going to make sure that people who have already made invitations for the Monday briefing, we're going to make sure that those people still get a good presentation. But this live event is going to start transpiring Tuesdays, January 16th. We're going to start them at 6:45 p.m. because we know people can ride fast, be late at 7 p.m. It is what it is. But be aware, that's what we're going to be doing moving forward. Details to come, as well as a script, a social media and text message script that we're going to encourage everyone to use to invite business owners to come out. So this isn't going to be about a simple sales presentation. We're going to get out here. We're going to create that community. We are going to create a situation where business owners leave not feeling like they just been served up a product, but they truly had an opportunity to network and level up in their business. If you can't tell, I'm like beyond excited about that. All right. The other announcement I want to share here briefly has to deal with an event that is transpiring this upcoming Saturday. And I'm going to share my screen again here right quick. So I want to make sure everybody is aware of this. You might want to take a screenshot. Make sure y'all can't see anything inappropriate in my email. In my text messages, that is. All right, there we go. All right. So we are going to have Mr. Larry Smith. Gentleman's earning $500,000 per year. Millionaire Club member, who knows how many times over at this point. He's earned millions and millions of dollars with the company. There have been years where he's actually knocked on $1 million a year. Basically doing what we're doing, inviting people to learn about the services and our value prop. Well, guess what? January 6th, this upcoming Saturday, he's going to be giving a presentation and a training at noon Eastern Standard Time. You see the Zoom meeting ID. Look, I can't say enough about this gentleman. Believe it or not, when he joined PPLSI years ago, he was literally fired from a job, had deaths, multiple deaths in his family in terms of loved ones and wife and all other stuff. It was pretty bad. And as a result, he was actually bagging groceries at a local store to try to keep the electricity on while he's trying to figure out how he wasn't going to lose his home. You know, he plugged into the system. He believed in the business model. He was willing to be coachable. And today, $500K per year. I'm going to tell you right now, he's pretty much retired. He's not even really active in the business anymore. And he's still knocking down that type of income. So majority of his income right now is all passive and residual. So look, I'm telling you right now, if there was ever an event where you wanted to get people on the line and hear from this gentleman and hear his story and how he was able to achieve what he achieved and hear a phenomenal presentation in terms of value prop and the membership and how it's changing people's lives, you want to make sure that you plug into this event. He is a phenomenal leader and mentor. I've been blessed to shake his hand and have a number of conversations with him. He's been instrumental at this point in helping not hundreds, but literally thousands of affiliates and associates with our company become millionaires with us. So look, take that screenshot, invite en masse to that event. You will not regret it. Make sure you have that on your calendar, make the invitations. All right. So I'm going to press pause on the announcements. I wanted to get that squared away and make sure people are aware of what's going to be transpiring moving forward here. Let me repeat this again. The Monday briefing is going to transpire via Zoom. We have a Tuesday event. So that means the Zooms that transpire Tuesday at 7 p.m. are coming to an end as of the 16th. We're going to have that live event instead. We all know that you have the Wednesday at noon, the small business presentation, where we do a deep dive in terms of the services and how it benefits business owners. That's going to remain on the schedule, but make sure you mark your calendars with these events. All right. So what I have to share next, I'm going to be frank, it's probably going to upset some of you because I know what I said last week. And I said what I would do is I would put together a training. I wish this would cooperate. It's not going to cooperate. Okay. I said I would end up presenting and doing a training that focused on why my screen is not cooperating. Okay, whatever. I was going to do a training on Zoom about LinkedIn and how I was able to grow from 0 to 30,000 followers on LinkedIn in a very short amount of time, a number of years ago, particularly during the pandemic, and continue to build my business when we were basically shut up in our houses and we no longer had the ability to do live events. We didn't have the capacity to do all the things we're able to do now, right? But I had a conversation today and I made a judgment call, and I hope you all are okay with this and you trust me, right? But I had a very fascinating exchange with one of our newest business partners, Miss Shayla Johnson and Miss Nicole Rogers. And, you know, Miss Johnson is brand spanking new. Like, I don't think she's been with us a week yet. And already plugging into the system, already doing a lot of the right things to have success. But today didn't go so well with her today. We had an open house scheduled. And like I said before, things didn't go as we hoped, planned, and expected. And so I had to have a conversation with Ms. Johnson. And I thank you, Ms. Johnson, for being courageous enough, for setting any ego you may have aside, you may have to participate, because you didn't have to do this. And so I cannot tell you once again how appreciative I am that you were willing to take a chance and participate in this way. So thank you. But I thought the conversation would be very beneficial, not just for her, but also for our entire team. And so I'm going to ask Ms. Johnson to come to the front of the congregation, so to speak. I'm going to ask Ms. Rogers to help me out as well, because I can't remember everything verbatim. But I want to share the conversation we had in terms of her journey thus far and talk about some of the nuggets and gems that came out of that conversation. Now, what I will say in advance as well is sometimes as leaders, we have to love like mothers and we have to protect like fathers. And this is one of those protect conversations. This conversation was not cotton candy. It was very, let's just say, kind of curt and to the point. But once again, I'm glad that Ms. Johnson was willing to accept it and let the information land the way it needed to land so she can continue to grow and prosper in this business. And so, Ms. Johnson, are you there? Can you hear me clearly? Are you unmiked?
I am here.
Fantastic. So, Ms. Johnson, if you don't mind, because I know for many of us, this is the first time we're seeing you and listening to you. So there are many who are like uninitiated in terms of knowing who you are. If you don't mind, just take a moment and share your professional background, your business background, and talk to us about why PPLSI and Legal Shield is important to you.
Well, background, I am currently an entrepreneur that owns a barbershop slash lock shop. So we do haircuts, and I do braiding and locks. I also have a job that I work at the VA Ann Arbor Hospital as an administrative officer there. I am also in the military, so I have a lot that I'm doing right now. But what brought me to Legal Shield was the factor that Mr. Ali Fisher came to me, and he was just really professional, but as well down to earth with speaking with what the Legal Shield could do for me, without saying, this is an opportunity for you to grow, this is, or anything of the sort. He just kind of had a conversation with me, and I was just like, that will work. I need that in my life to help me grow my knowledge base for the business, as well as some of the things that I needed to push forward business wise within hiring people within the barbershop. So here I am. I decided I want to be a member, but then as I learned more in what Legal Shield could do for me as an associate, I jumped on it right away.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is a huge clue, y'all. I hope you're paying attention. She dropped a huge gem. She was introduced to the membership and how it could benefit her. her business, benefit her life. I'm just, I'm digging here a little bit, Ms. Johnson. I really want to demonstrate this point. When you were introduced to me, that at any point in time when you were initially introduced to me, did I haven't mentioned the fact that you could earn money with this company?
No, you didn't.
Nope. You decided that the service made sense, and because of that, you wanted to share with other individuals. That's safe to say.
Yes.
And you pretty much had to ask me whether or not there was an opportunity here. Is that safe to say?
That is true.
Look, I'm giving y'all clues, man. Some of us right now are saying, I'm having a hard time recruiting. I'm having a hard time finding people who are committed. I'm having a hard time finding individuals who are actually willing to do the work. And here you have an individual who's in the military, business owner, has a job, sleep deprived. And because she was passionate about the service, she was like, I'm gonna give this a run. All right, I love it. And Miss Rogers, if, please feel free to chime in, because I know I'm gonna forget some of the conversation. So at any point, chime in and share what you heard. But today, Ms. Johnson, you had an open house at 5 p.m.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And is it safe to say you weren't satisfied or weren't too happy with the results of the open house?
I wasn't, because I actually had people asking me, oh, what is this? And yeah, I'm going to be there. And then you get one person that comes and they couldn't even unmute their computer.
So you invited out a multitude of people. I know you did, because we were talking, we were texting. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And you know what ended up happening? People lied. They said they were coming, and they lied. I think so many individuals listening right now, we felt the sting of that, right? Make the invitation first, says, I'm gung-ho, I love this service, I love this company, I'm gonna attend. And then they don't show up. Matter of fact, the multitude didn't show up.
Exactly.
Right? And, me being me, I got to investigate. I got to know why, right? And you invite that many people, I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I asked you, because I needed to know, right? I didn't want to assume anything. Mm-hmm. I wanted to know, like, okay, what were you texting? What were you sharing for individuals? Like, this is so important, because oftentimes we come on this training call and we talk about the things you should do, but there are also things that you should not do. Right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, there's some things we shouldn't do. But we're not going to jump ahead yet. But I asked you an important question. I needed your permission. I was like, do you want the cotton candy, Jawan? Or do you want me to hit you with it, right?
Yeah, and I said, hit me with it.
Yeah, and to your credit, you took it. But we're going to talk about what you had to take, right? So I asked you, when you were sending out text messages and when you were making verbal invitations, I said, give me an example of the messages you were sending to people. And if you don't mind, share with the group. What was that text message you were sending out to people?
Well, I originally sent out the open house text message. And when I would get a reply on what is this, I was saying all the wrong things. So
no, I ain't gonna let you off the hook. No, I'm not gonna let you off the hook. What was the specific response that you shared that you were sending to people?
One of my friends asked me, what is New Horizon? And I told her, I said, well, it's a legal company that can help you in your business, that you can go in and they could help you with contracts and give you the opportunity to do this or that and another, and it's just something that will help you in your business. And yeah, that was wrong.
So this is huge, because people, look, I did it. There's no judgment here. But some of us are a little bit upset because people aren't looking at videos and content we share with them. Some of us are getting upset when we invite people to conference calls and then folks don't show up, right? And my response to Ms. Johnson was simply this. And this was me loving, like, this is me protecting like a father, right? Protecting the business model, protecting the system. What I shared with Ms. Johnson is what I'm sharing with you all now. Do you understand that legal services aren't sexy? I'm just being real. We don't market Hennessy. White parties, incense, and $500 gym shoes. Right? That's not what we do. We don't market red bottoms and jewelry that you can go on Instagram and put your camera up while you're at the restaurant and do your steak and egg pics and look sexy and cute. That's not what we market. We market a real service. And I guarantee you all, if you could run up and down the street with a huge sign saying legal and nobody would talk to you. Right? The other thing that I shared with Ms. Johnson is, look, that word opportunity is a bad word. I can tell you right now, I got about 10 emails today about some opportunity. I got about probably 4 or 5 text messages. I just got one. I have to turn my phone off because it's coming in right now. Text message about somebody trying to invite me to some opportunity. I probably get 2 or 3 random phone calls inviting some type of opportunity. Look, in the entrepreneurship community in particular, that word opportunity is a bad word because you have all these people and all these companies out here calling people up 24/7, telling them, if you join me in business, money's going to rain from the sky like man. You got a business in a box and you don't have to work. You don't have to put any effort. You don't have to learn anything. Read books. Why would you want to do that? No, just join us and it's going to work out. You become a multimillionaire. And people have gotten burned from that. People are burnt out from that. When people hear that word opportunity, they think of another word. It's called scam. So if people are running from you, they're not returning your phone calls, there might be a reason for that. If you're using the words opportunity, if that is coming out, that is a bad word. And if you're getting on a line and telling people what you think this service does, you have given them enough information to make an uneducated no, but not an educated yes. That's what's really happening. And I shared that with Ms. Johnson today. And to her credit, she took it. She was willing to accept it. The other thing that I shared, Ms. Johnson, and we went back and forth about this for a moment, and I had to be a little bit curt and gruff with you. But Ms. Johnson, be real. You're in front of the congregation. Did you really study those scripts like you were supposed to?
I didn't. I thought I knew the script, but I didn't. And I didn't study them like I was supposed to. And when I did send out when I did get responses, I was too busy at work and trying to remember it, and it just wasn't coming to me. So I said what I thought I should say. And It didn't work.
Okay. This is what I want to share with the group. Because I think some of y'all get it twisted, right? Because you're never a prophet in your own backyard, right? I know some of you are tone deaf when it comes to listening to some of the words that come out of the mouths of the leadership, particularly me. Because you're hearing me every other day, every other week, if we're talking on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. But what I want to share with you is this. Those scripts are not Juwan Buford scripts. Those are scripts that were passed on to me from people like Larry Smith. That's those scripts that you received that first 3 days email. Those scripts are like 15, 20 years old, some of them. Those aren't my scripts. Some of my language, a little bit, but those scripts are pretty much unchanged. And I'm telling you, if you are brand new listening in right now, you have 2 choices. You can try to figure out on your own, you can think that you're more effective and smarter than a business model that has produced over 30,000 people who are earning 6 and 7 figures residual income, many of them from home. Now, some of us don't even know what it's like to earn 100K in business full time. And here you have Scripps that have actually contributed to over 30,000 people earning that type of income. Those are the scripts that all the ring earners use because they were passed on from ring earner to ring earner to ring earner to me. And I'm a ring earner today. And I attribute it because of what? The scripts. Right? Those scripts are what has contributed to well over 1,000 individuals just in the last 10 years. Just in the last 10 years. Earning 6 figures in excess of $1 million plus. So you have a choice. You can try to bump your head and figure it out yourself, or you can follow a business model and scripts that have actually created success that many of you all are taking aim at. Now, I don't know about you all, but I have kids and responsibilities and things I want to accomplish. I'm not trying to get to 250K per year over the next 5 years. I'm not trying to figure it out. I've always been taught that if there's already an approach that's out there that works, so many of y'all spend so much time inspecting the roots. You want to criticize and you want to question everything. Okay, that's fine. Me, I've learned in business that no, you pick the fruit. If people are doing something that's principled, moral, correct, right? And they're having success, I'm not going to spend time cutting them down. I'm going to be like, give it to me. Whatever it is you're doing, right? And so for some of you who are out here winging it, I strongly encourage you to review those scripts. Okay? If you don't like the sound of my voice, you can take the video, you go to an AI tool called Otter, and then you can put it in Dolly Parton's voice, or I don't know, Venus Williams or Denzel Washington's voice, and re-record it in their voice and then listen to it. Okay? But otherwise, you should follow those scripts. Right? Now, Ms. Johnson, it was safe to say you were pretty distraught for a hot second about what transpired because you didn't have guests show up, right?
Correct.
Okay. And we had a conversation about Plan B, right? What do you do when you have an open house and you don't get the guests that you're expecting? You don't get the number of individuals that you expected to turn out, right? Because at this point, you've talked to a lot of people. You've shared a lot of information. So the likelihood of them coming out to an event is going to be slim to none because they feel like they know what it is, right?
Correct.
And so we talked about what Plan B was. And I'm not going to leave you out on a limb. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you out on a limb. But let's talk about it. What was our game plan moving forward? What did we talk about? What was the suggestions that were made?
One, you had to continue to talk to people and present the business to people, at least 5 people, 3 to 5 people a day.
Okay. All right. I like it. And so I want to have this conversation. Did we say present or did we say invite?
You said invite.
Yes. Look, y'all. There was a gentleman whom I attended college with, and that's why I tell people no judgment. There was a gentleman whom I attended college with who attempted to present this to me for 7 years. For 7 years, I dissed him, threw him out of my office, ignored him, played him to the post repeatedly over and over again for several years because he kept trying to present this to me. And I wasn't trying to hear it, right? I'm an investment advisor. I'm knocking down 6 figures. I got the big corner office, got a vintage Jaguar, vintage BMW sitting out in the driveway. Bro, why are you trying to present anything to me? That was my attitude. I'm being transparent with you. And the lesson he finally learned after several years was to stop trying to present to this guy and just invite him to learn about the service. And that's what ended up happening. He came into the office one day and he just put the brochure and the service in front of me. And because he wasn't presenting to me, trying to sell me something, I looked at the brochure and I said to myself, you got to be effing kidding me. Are you kidding me? I just paid over $2,500, $3,000 for this. And you're going to give it to me for $30? I just paid my administrative assistant $40,000 for the year. And you're telling me the business plan was only be like $1,200 and under for the same thing, and I'm paying my administrative assistant for $40,000 a year? I was like, you got to be kidding me. Right? I need you all to just think about this for a moment, right? There's a book out there called Think and Grow Rich, right, by Napoleon Hill. Think about the smartest people you know, the most effective people you know, the people who are crushing it, they're winning. Do you think any of those individuals, whether it's you or anyone else, would just buy something based on a phone call? Do you think they would buy something just based on an email or a text message? No. Right? I see Mr. Chapman shaking his head. He's an entrepreneur. He's working right now while he's listening to this presentation. No, they're not. That's a mistake people are making. We are not salespersons. That's not what we are. We're professional inviters. We're sorters. The game is to get people to the presentation. That's the game. To get them to the Zoom, to get them to the live event. You let the presentations perform the sales job for you. You're a professional inviter. And you say just enough to get a person to take a look. That's your only responsibility. That's why salesmanship isn't required in this business. You don't need to be good at sales. Matter of fact, if you're good at sales, it sometimes hurts you in the business. Because here's the thing, 99.9% of people can't sell. I was being transparent with you. Most of y'all can't sell. You can't. It's a skill set most people have not developed. I can sell. I earned my living sitting down with complete strangers and saying, hey, I need you to give me $1 million of your money to invest. I think I can invest your $1 million better than you can. That's what I did for a living. I can sell the sun to a blind person. I can sell cake to a vegan. Okay? But none of you have ever seen or heard a story from any of the other people that are on the screen tonight. I'm always using what? A tool. Every single one of you, if you and I interacted because somebody else introduced me to you, I started with a tool, a video, an audio, or I invited you to a presentation where I was using a PowerPoint. Why? Because I know my sales experience can't duplicate when 99% of people are scared of sales and can't sell. But the tools can. And that's the conversation I had with Ms. Johnson. Right? I was like, look, the people that you're taking aim at, the people that you really that can come into your business and make a difference, give you 100 referrals, or join and retire you. The gentleman that brought me into the business, he had to wait 7 years to get it right. And then 4 months later, I walked him off his job. I joined and walked him off his job a couple months later. Was it worth the 7 years? Somebody help me out. Was it worth it? Hold on now. Some of you, I'm about to say, some of y'all acting brand new. You wouldn't wait 7 years for me to show up in your life and then retire you where you don't have to work a job ever again. So let me repeat the question again. Was it worth it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Now, here's the thing. You don't have to wait 7 years. Just do it right the first couple times. I guarantee you, if he'd approached me with the service first and just let me look at it and understand the value of what I was looking at, he wouldn't have had to wait 7 years. right? That's what I share with Ms. Johnson. You don't have to wait 7 years. A good friend of mine, who shall remain nameless, he's been knocking down $250,000 to $300,000 per year for the last 15 years. That's what he's been earning at his job. I started my entrepreneur journey 20 years ago when entrepreneurship wasn't sexy. 20 years ago, if you told someone you were an entrepreneur, they told you what? For the entrepreneurs listening, you know where I'm going with this. You were irresponsible. You were a loser. You can't keep a job. You need to go get a good bank paying job. You need to go get a good government job. You need to go work for the city. Let's be real. See, some of y'all are coming up today where entrepreneurship is sexy. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. When I tried entrepreneurship, it was not sexy. You were ridiculed. You were made fun of. That was not the move, right? And I remember telling this gentleman, I was like, man, you need to start something on the side. You need to start something on the side. He just completely ignored me. Any respect, he recently lost his job a couple times over the last couple years. And now he's literally like one bad issue away from living out of his car. This guy has been earning over $250,000 over 10 years. And he used to tell me all the time, man, look, I'm good. I got this job, gonna carry me for the rest of my life. It gets worse. While he was coming out of a divorce, he didn't know it, but the ex-wife ran up over $60,000 in credit card debt that had been accumulating over the last 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And last week, he checked his checking accounts. He has 3-4 checking accounts, and a number of them were over $30,000 in the negative. Now, some of y'all are like, oh, snap. But let me share something with you. I have 7 to 8 friends just like him are going through similar things right now. What's the moral of the story? There are individuals out there who have the cars, the clothes, the academic accoutrements. They look like they are the ish on the outside, and they're living quiet lives of desperation. They're out there. And what was difficult for me 15 and 20 years ago, I think it's easier because now people are more willing to embrace entrepreneurship. Right? So, okay, let me fast forward. This is the formula that I gave to Ms. Johnson. I said, look, you do 3 exposures a day. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that people lie, right? So if you get 3 people to say, I'm gonna look at something, you know 2 out of 3 ain't gonna look. Don't take it personal. Don't get upset. Please don't get in your feelings. We live on a planet Earth, and on the planet Earth, people lie. You're not the special. I'm sorry. You're not going to defeat over a millennia of human evolution. Humans lie. That's what we do. And you're not the special. Okay? 2 out of 3 people are going to lie to you. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. They're going to lie to you. So you invite 3 people per day. Let's say you do a 5-day work week. That's 15 people per week. If you do 15 people per week, over the course of a month, that's 60 people. Only 1 out of 3 people are going to look. So 30% of 60 is 18. Only 30% of people are going to get the membership right away. So 30%, 18 of the 60 were willing to take a look. They did not lie. The 1 out of 3 that didn't lie. They looked at it. 30% of those individuals are going to get the service. They're not going to spend time lollygagging. They see it, they're going to get it. And they're going to get it with either that day or within 2 to 3 days. They're going to enroll. What am I saying to you all indirectly? It's just the numbers. Some of you are crying over the 2 that aren't looking. So you're neglecting the 1 out of 3 that will look. It's like a person that keeps dating the wrong person every single time. Mr. and Miss Right sitting in front of you, but you got to date Mr. and Miss Wrong. And you're complaining that the dating market is effed up. No, your choices are effed up. Okay. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gone there. That was inappropriate. And it's being recorded. Anyway, look. Stop dating the wrong people. Okay. Focus on the 1 out of 3, except the 2 out of 3 are liars. The 1 out of 3 are not. And then 1 out of 3 are going to get service. That means you're going to average 5 clients a month. Now, some of you are like, 5 clients a month, that's not a lot. 5 clients a month with our Performance Club bonuses and all these other random bonuses they're throwing at us. I can't even keep up with them all anymore. 5 clients per month with the Performance Club bonuses and everything else at minimum will pay you $1,500 per month. You're really going to be earning close to $2,000 per month for 1 client a week. 1.2 clients a week. It's just the numbers. So unless you are just a mean, nasty person, you refuse to look at the scripts, you refuse to be coachable, you refuse to follow the rules, you refuse to follow the blueprint, you just like, you know what, no, I like to bump my head. I don't want to wait 7 years to get on correctly. If that's you, this ain't for you. So just go ahead and do that. Knock yourself out. But for the rest of us, for those who are willing to, once again, do these simple things, show up to this Wednesday training. Do the things you know you should do. You'll average just for 5 clients, just under $2,000 a month. And then I'm going to tell you what my experience was. Just like Ms. Johnson, I don't ask people to join me in business. I don't. I ask for referrals. I share the membership. And then I ask people, hey, who do you know who you want to be helped? Who do you know that's a business owner? Who do you know that's not afraid of work, likes money, they're the plug in the community, they like helping people, you know, they want to level up. Who do you know who's hungry? Right? I ask for what I want. Now, some of you saying, I'm not comfortable asking referrals. Well, you keep bumping your head for the next 7 years. But in real entrepreneurship and a business model like this, you got to ask for referrals. There's a book out there, somebody's eating some chips or something, whoever it is, mute your line. There's a book out there by Bob Berg called Endless Referrals. That book increased reading that book back in what year was that? Getting so old now. I think 2003. I read that book in 2003, and 4 months later, I doubled my income because of that book. I don't know what else to tell you. I read that book and literally doubled my income. That's how impactful that book was. And it talks about how to get referrals, right? And so this is what I know. I ask for referrals. For every 10 people who enrolled in the membership, 1 or 2 would raise their hand. But guess what? For the business owners listening in, who actually have hired employees, 3, 5, 6, 7 employees, like you've hired a staff and ran a staff before, not for like 6 months, but for years. Don't your employees lie too? Don't your employees not show up to work? Don't your employees, the dog ate my homework and I got put out the house, and the reality of the matter is you had too much Hennessy the previous night. Guess what? Your employees lie too. The people you on board lie to. They're going to say, I commit. They're not really going to commit. They're going to say they're going to commit. They're not. So I knew going in, because I managed offices with 20, 30, 50, 60, 100 people before. I knew that for every person who on board, only 1 out of 3 would actually get busy. Only 1 out of 3. And only 1 out of 10 would be a keeper. So some of you are getting upset because you've onboarded like 10 people and you're mad. No. What's happening is what should happen. This is what entrepreneurship looks like. Ask Ms. Kane, who's in the staffing industry. She'll tell you she recruits people for other companies. She'll tell you the numbers. It's bad. It's not a PPLSI Legal Shield thing. It's an entrepreneurship thing. The majority of people that you onboard in a business aren't going to be there 2-3 years from now. They're not going to do nothing. So you should expect this. I expect this. But if you can handle that, if you can accept that, you're going to end up onboarding maybe about 7, 8, 10 individuals. 3 of them are going to get busy. 1 is going to be someone that you can count on to commit, to really say what they said they're going to do, what they said, and really be willing to build the business. It's just what happens in entrepreneurship. You only need 3. If you have 3 individuals who are willing to Performance Club qualify, so they're willing to invite people 3 a day, use 3 ways to help those individuals get to a point of decision, because 3 ways duplicate, not present, invite the presentations, 5 enroll. You teach 3 people to do that. Your business, when I did it, because the compensation plan was not nearly what it is today. When I was doing it, that guaranteed $2,500 a month. It just guaranteed it. That's all it was. Today, many of you said you want to earn a 50K ring. Ms. Johnson said she wanted to earn a 50K ring. That's why I had the conversation with her. I promise you, if you find 3 people willing to Performance Club qualify like you did, you will earn approximately $4,000 a month. I promise you, you will. Which means you'll just be a couple dollars short of $50,000. That's the 50K ring, y'all. That's what I share with Ms. Johnson. That's what I'm sharing with you. Just do that. That's it. I'm gonna press pause now. Because Ms. Rogers, I know I missed a lot. I know I did not cover everything because we had a really in-depth conversation today. So I'm gonna ask you to help me out. So I know there was like 3 things that you shared during that conversation and at the end that I thought was really powerful that the team needs to hear. If you don't mind, share what those 3 things are that you can recall.
Well, I know one of the things that I had shared with both you and Miss Johnson was that the importance of showing up on those Zoom calls, on the open house calls. In particular, whether you're expecting guests or not. And one of the reasons is that the repetitive presentation that you hear over and over. Like you said before, sharp iron sharpens iron. And that's exactly where you get that from, is when you show up. Like I know some people may or may not show up depending on if they are expecting guests. However, that's exactly how I feel I've gotten better in actually giving the presentation myself. Is constantly showing up whether or not I have guests on the Zoom call or not. Especially in particular, those kind of conversations that may come up, just like the one that you and Miss Johnson had. Even though being here for a year, I'm not so fairly new. It still was a good conversation because you get nuggets that you otherwise would not get. So for associates, in particular, new associates may miss out on some of these types of conversations where you get these gems and nuggets and impromptu conversations. Because I was actually taking notes while you and Ms. Johnson was talking, especially about the KPIs and what's needed, how many exposures, how many presentations and referrals you need to obtain to go after a ring. So it's very important to just show up for presentation, for Zoom calls and for live events.
I love it. Was there anything else that you recall? You mentioned a couple things.
I'm trying to remember myself. I didn't write everything down that I
It's all
said.
She also talked about the numbers and how well it is to reflect on the numbers, and getting after inviting the 3 to 5 people a week or a day.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Johnson. There was one thing I forgot. I'm gonna share this and I'm gonna end it. Ms. Johnson asked, so how should I have responded? So how should you respond to people when you either call them and they say, what's this all about? Or they text you, like, what's this all about? This is what I want to share with you. Number one, you know I'm old school. I don't text people. I call and then I text. Because I just don't believe a text message will ever be as effective as picking up the phone. Right? And I don't believe in doing what's comfortable, what I feel like doing. I believe in doing what's required to be successful. Right? For me, it's requirement. I'm going to earn $250,000 a year in PPLSI in 2024. It's a requirement for me. So I'm going to do what's required. But for those who do just insist on text messaging, this is what the text message will sound like. It will say, hey, so glad that you asked that question. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you have a moment? Can I get 5 minutes with you? That will be my response via text. The person is either going to respond yes or no. Chances are if they respond no, they're really not interested in learning what it is. They just want to find out. They want to dupe you into giving them enough information to say, no, I'm not interested. I'm just being real with you. That's really what's going on. That's the game that's being played. You know what you all people say all the time, I don't want you to sell to me. I don't like sales. I don't like sales. And they turn around and ask you to do what? Sell to them. You have to resist the urge to do that. This is your bat, your ball, your business. You don't let people tell you what to do in your business. I need some of y'all to develop some backbone. Stand 10 toes down on the business model. The people that you're sharing this with have not produced 30,000 people who are earning 6 figures. They barely getting it themselves. The business model has done it. Stand 10 toes down on it. If a person says yes, I'm going to call up. I'm going to say, look, so glad you're willing to take the call. Look, I just made an investment, not opportunity. I just made an investment. I learned about a company that is helping families make better financial decisions, grow their businesses, grow their net worth, level up, help out with legal matters from time to time. That's the only time I'll say something like that. Look, it may or may not be for you, but you're sharp, you're smart, I respect you. I want to work with people like you. This is not an invitation to buy. But if I were to extend the invitation to you, would you attend? That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm brand new. I'm new to this. I don't want to misinform you. If I were to extend the invitation, would you take a look? Guess what my text message is going to be? It's going to be to affect the same thing. I'm going to send a text message and say, look, I made an investment. I'm relatively new. I don't want to misinform you. I found something that I am excited about, helps people level up financially, make better decisions and grow their businesses, take care of their families, make better legal decisions, protect themselves. If I were to send you an invitation, would you attend? That's it. That's it. That's my response. And I'm going to tell you why this response works, and then I am done. Look, people are watching you. They're watching you. Your family and friends and your network, they're watching you. They're observing you. And you need to know that. When I started my journey as an investment advisor 20 years ago, I was hood. I was calling people like, what's up, bro? What's up, dude? Because I was hood. Y'all listen to me today. Trust me. Nobody was going to invest $1 million in me. I'm surprised I haven't survived. I don't know how I survived because I was hood. I was rude. I was crude. I was not speaking the language of an investment advisor because of professional development training. I stopped being that way. I started articulating myself differently. Okay. And then my third year into being an investment advisor, several people who were multimillionaires finally sat down with me and they cut a check for $1 million for me to invest. And I was like, why are you doing this? And they said, well, because we were watching you. We wanted to see if you were serious. We want to see if you were committed. And we know you're sharp. We know you're smart. So you wouldn't be doing this unless there was something to it. And we know it has to be of value because you've survived 2 years. I mean, you've been able to have some success. And do you know that's the only reason why they cut those $1 million checks? That's the only reason why they bought the $2 and $3 million policies and forked over their entire 401ks and all that stuff to me. Well, because they were simply watching me to see if I was serious. Your people are watching you. They're observing you. You got to show up enthusiastically. You got to stand 10 toes down in your business because they're watching you. And that's the last thing I'll leave with you. Now, fortunately, we don't have to part people millions of dollars in our own money. We only have to part people with about 30 to 60 bucks on average, right? So you don't have to wait 2 years to see if people are going to want to do business with you because you're not asking for that much, especially given how valuable what it is we offer. But I want to leave you with that. And that's why I need you to stand 10 toes down and not get caught up and not do all this other stuff. Follow the scripts, follow the systems, do the numbers. You will have that success. I promise you. And so that's what I'll leave you with. Because I went like 10 minutes over. So I know a couple people are about to be mad with me, but hey, get over it. I thought this was necessary today. Any feedback, any questions about what was shared? Particularly Ms. Johnson or Ms. Rogers, if there's anything that we left out in terms of that exchange today.
I think we have everything.
Okay. All right, I'll stop being paranoid.
Yeah, I think so too. That was the meat of it.
Okay. All right, particularly for the new partners who are listening in, questions about anything that was shared.
Thank you. No questions. I just got a bunch of notes.
Okay, that works too. Questions going once or feedback going twice.
I put it in the chat, but I wanted to Shayla verbally say thank you for your honesty with this, because Mr. Buford knows he's had this conversation with me too. So it's, yeah, I see you laughing over there. And he's gonna have another one with me, I know. So I appreciate it a lot. Like Miss Ronica said, I took a lot of notes. And Mr. McDowell, yeah, but he was talking about me too. I was like, oh, that hurt. But thank you. And my son is in the military. He's in the Army. So I wanted to thank you for your service.
Thank you. The experience, I will say, telling this story is very humbling.
I love it. And I thank you for your courage in doing so. Look, the only thing that's holding me back in 2024, and I think the only thing that holds most people back for those of us who are entrepreneurs is ego. Ego. Not willing to accept the fact that no, you are not everything you need to be to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. You have to be willing to grow and level up. You have to be willing to learn new things. You got to be willing to operate differently. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And so, to me, one of the most powerful things I want people to take from tonight is Ms. Johnson was willing to set aside her ego and, get a little bit of a second roasting tonight for the benefit of the organization. So thank you, Ms. Johnson. All right. That being said, everyone have a fantastic evening. Celebrate success in advance. I'll be available by phone for the next 30 minutes or hour. You know what it is. I'm about that life. 3-way calls. Let's get it. And I look forward to chatting with you soon. If some of you are like in the chat room sending stuff, like I'm seeing this stuff popping up, you better text me. I said I'm old school. Stop playing with me. Okay? You better text me if you want my attention. Okay? Just letting you know. Why you putting all that stuff in the chat talking about I need a 3-way, you better text me. Okay. Everyone have a fantastic evening. Goodbye for now.